What's going on, guys? Way from Revolution here at the Grand Seiko booth with my buddy Rob Brook, who is the Grand Seiko ambassador in the UK. Right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, he's wearing a suit today, but if this guy took his shirt off, people would just be like in awe because he's in such extraordinary shape. But he's also got a huge, huge brain because he knows so much about watchmaking. So he's going to school me today on this incredible new Grand Seiko Tourbillon. Tell me about this, sir.
Wow, thank you. That was an incredible introduction. You're making me blush before we've even started.
Cheers, dude.
But yeah, it's fantastic to see you again. Before we start, I just want to say it's great to see you and I'll be back again at the Watch Fair.
Yes.
And we're very happy as a brand to be here at Watches and Wonders for the first time. So
yes, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you. So yeah, what we've got here is a real masterpiece showcase that we have. The watch is a Constant-force Tourbillon, so it's a complication that we have launched in the Grand Seiko range. We did bring out the T0 concept in 2020.
I remember.
And since then we've had to re-examine the 340 plus parts and re-engineer many of them. This is a smaller case now, well, smaller movement, should I say.
Yes.
And what's really fascinating about this is the Constant-force Tourbillon is on a single, well, in a single structure.
Yes.
Structure.
That's the thing that I
on a
noticed.
single axis.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I believe that's the world's first that's been done.
It totally is, dude.
And what's really fantastic about that is it means there's no friction points between the constant force to the tourbillon. So
Yes.
that the whole purpose of the constant force is to have a constant force. So the
Indeed.
less of a gear or friction between those,
Yes.
the better. So it's a real showcase piece for us.
It's incredible. I mean, honestly, bravo. Guys, so maybe Munster, you can travel down from the watch and go end up on 6 o'clock in the watch, very close up on the tourbillon, like as close as you possibly can. Okay, so I'm just going to go off the top of my head because I just saw it and like my jaw was agape because it's so cool. It looks like a skeletonized tourbillon with the hour-minute indicator set at 12 o'clock. But what's really interesting here is you have two wheels that are coaxial to each other. One cage, which is the cage for the tourbillon. Inside of there is a balance and the escapement. And then at the same axis, you also have this amazing wheel that's driving the constant force mechanism as well, right?
Yep.
Which seems to me to be being rearmed once every second. And actually that wheel is moving forward once every second, precisely on the second.
Yep.
And there's a ruby in there, so it's also got like a dead seconds indicator, which is amazing.
Yeah, so that ruby indicates the seconds for the watch. So as you can see on the right near the crown there's also a lever that it utilizes hacking. So when you pull the crown out, the constant force cage stops,
Yeah.
so you can set the seconds to the
That's
exact.
cool. All right, guys, so I'm going to pull the cage out. So, Mun, you see the lever just on top of the tourbillon? It looks like a little bent finger. Yeah, so I'm not going to pull it out. Boom. And now you're going to see. No, so what you will notice also is that the balance wheel continues to oscillate a little bit, but doesn't matter because it's a cage that's like geared to the gear train. So as soon as you pull that out, the whole thing stops.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then once you push it back in, it gives it a kick and
It
off
gives
we
it a
go
kick.
again.
Nice. Nice. So I want to put that back in as well. Boom.
And I think what we were talking about before in terms of when you can actually hear the movement.
Yes.
The watch, what we've called it Kodo, which in Japanese means heartbeat. So it's basically like an inorganic metals that create this beautiful heartbeat. So it's not only the balance and the tourbillon, which obviously brings the life to the watch to life.
Yes.
But the beating sound, it actually in musical terms creates a 16th beat. So it's a 28,800 vibration per hour on the constant force, which
Wow.
up to our research, I believe, is the only one currently on the market at that vibration per hour for a constant force.
Amazing.
But along with that 1 second tick, it
Yeah.
makes, in musical terms, a 16th note. So it's a real beautiful, pure sound.
Incredible.
And obviously the majestic look of it, in terms of being on a single structure, gives it the name.
Rob, do you mind if I try it on?
Oh,
It
yes,
is-
we
it
would
is
be
such a
privileged to see you
Stunning watch.
modeling
I feel like
this.
I have to, you know.
I think if there's anyone we want wearing that it's you, Waco.
Oh, that's amazing. And what is it? Is the case titanium?
The case is brilliant high-intensity titanium
Wow.
mixed with platinum 950, so it's a mixture
Wow.
of high-tech and precious
Yes.
metals.
So it's got that's why it's so white looking. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Incredible.
And obviously the high-intensity titanium has good hardness and obviously a number of different properties in terms
Yes.
of hypoallergenic, and but also it helps make it so it's a bit more lightweight rather
Right.
than a heavy platinum.
It's such a wearable
so
watch.
it's-
What's the dimensions of the watch?
Off the top of my head, it's 43.5. I think I'd have to double check the
Yes.
dimensions. But
43
yeah,
points. It's so wearable, you know? And
yeah, as noted, the movement from the T0 has been reduced in size, so that's one of the main aspects that we've improved in terms of the constant force.
And Rob,
complication.
if I may be so bold, what would such a watch cost a person like myself?
Well, this one is £310,000,
Right.
including VAT.
Nice.
You'll get an alternative croc strap with that as well.
Nice.
So, but on that, just while we mention as well, so you'll see it's a very unique design on this strap.
Yes,
there.
it is.
What that is it's a calf strap that's been wrinkled and then hand Arushi lacquered a number of times.
No way. That's incredible.
And what I think you'll really enjoy this point. So where that's come from is that was usually reserved for high-ranking samurai. So,
really?
Very cool. Very
Fantastic.
Cool.
I love it. Well, guys, there you have it. I'm sorry, what is the name of the watch, Rob?
So, well, the movement's the 9ST1 and the nickname is Kodo.
Kodo. That is the Grand Seiko Tourbillon Kodo, and I have to say, an absolute revelation technically, and great on the wrist. It's phenomenal. We're going to talk you through the rest of the collection of Grand Seiko. I think you guys already were pretty mesmerized by the Kodo Tourbillon, and we were very happy to present that to you, but now let's look at the rest of the watches. So brother, tell me what we got here.
So these here are part of what we call the Evolution 9 Sports Collection. So since 1962, a design graduate created what we called Grammar of Design on the Grand Seiko style, and the 44GS was the first watch to really embody that Grand Seiko style that has that sparkle of beauty and that play of light and shadow, that very Japanese aesthetic. So this now, the Evolution 9, is the next step in the design philosophy. So it incorporates 9 different areas for comfort and beauty, and basically it enhances the previous style that we had, and it borrows some aspects and creates this new range that we have here. These are all made in high-intensity titanium, and all the ones you see here are spring drive calibers. Which
I love that.
Has
It's my favorite caliber. Yeah, exactly. That smooth seconds hand.
Yeah. Well, this one in particular here, the Mist Flake, which is a GMT there, it's inspired by the early morning mist in the Shinshu region of Japan, where the spring drive calibers are created.
Nice.
So, and what they see that is, it's a sign of good weather to come. So it's always nice to
Fantastic.
a nice vision to see.
So this is the
Mist Flake.
Mist Flake, and then you've got a
Black Dial version.
version. Is it also called Mist Flake, or
It's not. No. So this is a Black Dial variant of the Mist Flake. It's not the same texture. So you'll see on this Mist Flake, it's very similar in terms of the texture to. I think you actually own.
I own a Snowflake. Dude, not only I own a Snowflake, I sold a Snowflake during our last event. To Johnny Allen. Amazing.
Yeah. Along here then as well, we have 2 chronograph GMTs, spring drive chronograph GMTs,
Right.
Which is a very complicated piece. And what's great about having a spring drive chronograph is because it sweeps and tells actual elapsed time. It's extremely accurate and consistent for a chronograph.
Amazing.
But what you'll notice as well on these, they have a sapphire bezel.
Oh, nice.
So which you can actually turn.
Right.
Which is quite
unique.
unique.
Wow. Okay.
So we have 3 different time zones on that GMT. You have the watch hands, then the GMT hand.
Don't worry, man, I'm coming in. I'm just going to make sure it's powered up. So go on, please. I'm sorry. You're saying the bezel actually turns so you can actually use it to change different time zones as well.
Yeah.
Rapidly shift between time zones.
Yeah.
Right?
So the normal watch hands is one time zone. The GMT hand in the inner ring is a second time zone, and then when you turn the outer bezel,
you can
that's
have
your
a
third time zone. Yeah. So it's
nice.
chronograph GMT with 3 time zones. It's very complicated. This one here is a limited edition version. It comes in at 10 second per month accuracy, and it's called the Cosmos Blue. So it's inspired by the cosmos and that kind of night sky. And you'll see among our collection we incorporate the nature of time theme to really emphasize that Japanese unique view on the passage of time.
Wonderful.
It also comes in a black dial option, which is non-limited. So this is the same in every way, other than obviously being black rather than the blue, and it's a non-limited piece. This one doesn't have the same caliber, so this one's accurate to 15 seconds a month, whereas the blue dial was 10 seconds
Really?
a month.
Interesting.
And to notice that on the actual rotor on the back, there's a gold.
You can see the sweep of the seconds.
You can see the gold Grand Seiko line
yeah.
there? So that's to represent the higher accuracy.
That's
piece.
fantastic. That's incredible. I own a spring drive watch, as Rob was saying. I got a Snowflake, and First of all, I love wearing that watch. It's like there's something about a Grand Seiko watch when you put it on your wrist, it just feels great.
Yeah.
And somehow it feels kind of calming, like
Yeah,
kind of tranquil,
yeah.
you know. And then the second thing is that spring drive movement. It's like so accurate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean the whole concept when it was originally brought out was to almost make the best of both worlds, where you have
Indeed.
that robust, accurate movement like a quartz, but then you have the romance of a mechanical watch where it's powered by a spring and a gear chain, which is henceforth spring drive.
Indeed, sir.
This piece you're grabbing now, so this is GS Diver.
Okay.
This is the dial on this. Hopefully you catch it in the light, right? You'll be able to see.
Mun turned all the light off, right? Like that's the dude behind the camera. He's like, no, I want this light to look a certain, and now like I can't see anything.
So basically that dial inspiration,
okay.
the watch is nicknamed Ushio, which means tide in Japanese.
Nice.
And as you'll know, Japan is an island, has many islands around it, and this archipelago, among says something called the Black Stream, which goes up to the North Pacific.
Nice.
And that's what is inspired
Dude, that's
this dial
so
on this watch.
attractive. I
which is
love that watch.
Perfect for a diver. It's a ceramic bezel.
Nice.
And features the updated spring drive caliber, which has 0.5 accuracy seconds
Nice, dude.
today. 120-hour power reserve. It has a one central piece bridge, so it's more robust than the previous, which is ideal for a diver.
Yes.
And it's a slimmer caliber. So,
Cheers.
I mean, you'd normally get one or the other, but to get those and package all into one movement, it's pretty incredible. So it's
I love it, dude.
a really beautiful piece.
And Rob, it's been such a pleasure going through this collection with you. Thank you so much for taking the time. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Peace, guys.